Falcon, Shaheen, or your Dice Masters head judge, however you want to call me. Realize I haven't actually been saying that in the last few broadcasts. So, guys, we are going to be starting very shortly with the very final top cut round. And our top is going to be Ben versus Kevin. I believe we already are both set up. They've just both taken a quick bathroom break before they get going. So just one more time, Ben's team is Create Food and Water, Arch Nemesis, Ring of Winter, Yuanti, The Lesser, Billy Club, Tool of Justice, Mimic, Borrowed Talent, Shriek, Sonic Beam, Madam Web, The Great Web Unravels, Professor X, No More Magnus, Gold Dragon, Paragon Dragon. Kevin's team is Resurrection, Investigation, Billy Club, Tool of Justice. I'm getting a little sidetracked by cons. Anyways, Scarlet Witch, Careful What You Wish For, Shriek, Sonic Beam, Green Devil Mask, Lesser Trap, Pseudo Dragon, Paragon Familiar, and Zandala Simber, Destined for Greatness, Cosmic Cube, Beyond Imagination. Finally, Yuanti Pureblood, Epic Humanoid. I'd also like to take this moment to thank Nick for joining me in streaming the last few rounds. He is now taken off as his ride is now available since his ride is no longer in the tournament. All right, so guys, we will be starting this as soon as they're ready and they start rolling dice. Okay, I'm muting my mic just for the moment so I can do one or two quick things. All right, so guys, what's going on right now is Kevin and Ben are just talking over the nature of each player's team. I'm sure they'll get started in just a moment, and then I'll start the timer. There's a little bit of trash talk going on between them. All right, so you guys probably saw a little bit of shenanigans going on there. There was just some quiet swapping of Yuantis to see if Kevin would notice. And yeah, I think we're good to go. All right, the obvious buy of Mimic. All right, so that last part was a food and water trigger, just in case you're wondering. I'll be just right back. All right, so there was just a little quick question about if we were doing a time limit, and realistically, given how early we are in the day, and it makes for a better game, we are doing no time limit within reason, because I do not want to be here at somehow at midnight. It is noting it is only 3:30 now, but otherwise they are going to play it out till the end. All right, Kevin's got his full attune team built up, but only one energy left, and he's rezzing. Interesting. All right. Right at the end there was Billy Club to be able to set up for Mimic draws on Kevin's turn. Now noting, of course, that Ben does have his dragon up and running. So Kevin needs to be able to deal with that, otherwise he may get steamrolled like Petrus did earlier. However, at least for the moment, the Mimic is copying a sidekick, not a dragon, so Ben isn't able to do huge damage like he did previously. So Kevin's just taking time to think before he rerolls. Alright, looks like we've got a Yuan-Ti, a Mimic, and a Sidekick. I'm kind of expecting here Ben will just put up Mimic as Dragon, so that he's set up for next turn. I could be wrong. He may choose to do it for more draws. Still went for the Sidekick. So he's going to prep a whole bunch. And Ben is just attacking with the Yuan-Ti. No actions were used, so it is not unblockable. Kevin just making a comment that he was hoping he would have gotten his trap, but he didn't. So maybe he'll get it next turn. Noting right now, neither player has purchased a Shriek as of yet, so they're just both playing their own game. Alright. So that's buying of a cube for a bunch of damage. And some damage back. There's the Shriek buy. Fielding a Sidekick, and yeah. Alright, so Ring of Winter didn't come up, but I think he's okay with that at this point. Even though a second dragon might have been pretty good. Alright, so now they're both just adjusting so that their dice are sorted by level. Make it a little bit easier for you guys to figure out what things are. All right, there's finally a purchase of an Arch Nemesis, which he's been running for a while and we have yet to see used. All right, Kevin takes 2 damage off the sidekicks, but blocks the Yuante. Oh, Kevin's hit the Green Devil Mask, which is likely why Ben was doing that swing earlier, just to get himself below the 4 count. And 2 damage to Mimic, getting rid of it, and 2 damage into Ben. And Kevin's just making a joke about not taking damage back, since it was a trigger off of a activating of an action, as opposed to off of buying one. Alright, so Ben yet again has a whole bunch more sidekicks. We'll see if that Mimic comes out copying a sidekick again or not. And there's a double Billy Club, which I'm guessing means, oh, only one of them. Sorry. Okay, just so you guys know, there was a minor miscommunication because Ben is electing not to field one of his sidekicks while spinning the one that was in field and one of the other ones into energy. He's rezzing. So there's a Breath Weapon 3. Yeah, and Zendala does not die because the Gold Dragon is a good character. Kevin takes 3 off the breath weapon as well. And now blocker declarations. All right, takes another 3 off letting Yuan-Ti through, but then blocked the dragon since it's a 7. And of course, the Zendala survives the combat with the dragon, because the dragon is alive as well. Right, Kevin's just trying to figure out if he can feel everything or not. All right, guys, just going to mute for a second. All right, guys. I realized that while I was stepped away, I don't think I caught what was done called by Shriek. I'll go get that confirmed. Or actually, never mind. We've got a meeple on the Gold Dragon. We're good. All right, looks like he missed the Yuan-Ti and he missed the ring. Ben is lamenting the lack of magic missile right now. There's a Kate Global. So Arch Nemesis with the Dragon and Yuan-Ti. So Yuan-Ti is KO'd. I was wondering. He's now realized she's done it to Shriek. They're stepping back and doing it. And then Breath Weapon 3. So 3 damage to Kevin. Yuanti gets KO'd. Zendala survives the blocking. Okay, so guys, this just goes back to earlier on. They discussed in a previous round what would happen based on using of that dice tower, because it does have a minor lip to it. So they made sure to both agree to it, and then the sidekick was just lifted off the lip. And now they're just kind of laughing about some of the HeroClix players' commentary that's going on around them. As currently our setup is such that we are in one quarter of the room with HeroClix all around us. And Shriek is back on Gold Dragon just to keep that breath weapon in bay. At bay. Alright, purchase of a Billy Club for 2 damage into Ben. Alright, there's a reroll of the Yuanti because it fell off the table. And the Yuanti's there. So it looks like the Mimic and the Yuanti's up. So he was trying to get, I believe that's an Arch Nemesis die, so that he could get it up and get rid of the Shriek, but I don't think he did. His Mimic is copying Sidekick to spin back down just to try and avoid the trap. Kevin was really hoping he'd forget that and just let him keep fielding things and hit 4. So now Ben is up to 3, which means he can't actually use Mimic's triggers. So we'll see how this pans out. And there's a cake. Just a minor adjustment on which energies was used for what. Alright, so Kevin is stuck with just a bunch of sidekicks this round. Ben is now wishing he had his ramp back. Alright, Mimic's KO'd again thanks to a tune. Or, well, Yuan-Ti's a tune. There's a res at the end. Alright, so just so you guys know, after this round, I will be trying to get either one or both players onto our stream just to have a little chat, or even just to have them chat with each other, something. Assuming they're willing. Okay, so Ben went to trigger a fourth. Kevin was nice enough to say, I'll let you take that back, but it is the last one he'll let him take back. This next time he will take the trigger. He's forcing the trigger because I believe he wants that Mimic to show up. Now they're just discussing whether or not it's original or new faces. It is new. He re-rolled and maintained 3 of the 4 of them. But at least the dragon is smaller. That's good for Kevin. All right, guys, I just have a minor ruling question. I'm looking it up before I go over. Yeah, no. All right, so guys, there's just a minor rules break, as I just want to confirm a few things. All right, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So the ruling had to do with what would have happened if if the Devil Mask had caused the Gold Dragon to go to used, and there was some reference to the old Money and Puzzle ruling, as well as other things. The ruling has been cited that if it had happened, the dragon would go straight to used. It would not go to transition, since it is being sent to used as opposed to a resolution of its own that would put it in used, which is what Millennium Puzzle was, and why Puzzle would then go to transition once transition was created. I hope all that makes sense. And the game continues. That being said, of course, that ruling references a hypothetical situation, as it did not actually happen. And the whole premise was because Ben was looking, if it had re-rolled, he could have then used the ring of Winter he'd rolled to bring the dragon back on a bigger face. Whereas right now, I believe it's on a smaller face. All right, so in case anyone's curious, Mimic is actually copying a 2-1 Yuan-Ti right now. I'm expecting it was due to what was available at the time. Kevin is counting up to try and see if he can get game at this point. He's not sure he has it. Just doing a couple more calculations. There's a Billy Club Global. Kevin's trying to get stuff up on board and maintain different level groupings. There's a Billy Club activation, trying for the dragon. And then Club puts it back to original if it misses. And one tune into Mimic and one into Ben. Kevin buys 2 cubes, doing 4 damage to Ben, and declares an attack. And that's the end of game 1. Kevin wins game 1, and we're going into game 2. All right, Ben opens at the standard purchase of a Mimic. Kevin rolls and then rerolls everything. He got a Bolt, which I'm assuming is what he was looking for. There's a Billy Club Global, so you can buy the 2 standards starting. And there's Yuan-Ti on Ben's side. And a random fielding of a sidekick off of Global. And a res. I think the Mimic was just fielded copying nothing. Oh, and that's Rob's helping out. He's just resetting the life points. Because both players are actually maintaining their lives in another manner, but we would like those in order that we can check them for you guys. Oh, my mistake. The Mimic copied the sidekick earlier. That makes much more sense. And there's the dragon. And the Ring of Winter. A lot of very familiar plays here from Ben. Uh, and now we're getting some attune damage floating around off of a purchase of a Billy Club. So the Mimic gets KO'd off the damage, and then Ben also does damage back. There we go. All correct. Slight misinterpretation of where some damage was going. And Kevin paid for a trap that he didn't actually put in his use till just now. Nature getting really focused on your game. Sometimes you miss those things, and then correct them. There's a Shriek purchase. And there's your gold dragon, and on board. Giving up the Shriek to do it. And the trap missed. I have a feeling we'll be going to a game through very shortly. picking up an investigation and a billy club. All right. And there's a second copy of the dragon, if you can feel it. There it is. All right, at this point, Ben is just setting up a rather large field. Kevin needs to stall till that trap comes back around. And those Zendalas will be really good stall. Mr. Rez at the end there. Ben just working out math. Breath up in 3, and that's game. So we're on to game 3, I believe. Kevin's buying a Zendala off the top. Obviously because of its defensive potential against the dragon. And Ben started out with a Shriek instead of a Mimic. Ben's just prepping some dice for his next turn's roll. Still on Kevin's active turn. And that's not great for Kevin. So Kevin's decided to try the Scarlet Witch approach. He hasn't actually tried that yet in this game. I guess he's hoping it'll stop the ring. There's a Mimic, so Ben's back to having his prep abilities, or will be shortly. There we go. Kevin has potential to get his Zendal on board, which is a great defender against that dragon. Bush of Yuanti and fielding Zendala, then also Rezing. Nice. So Shriek is naming Scarlet Witch. And there's the naming of Sidekick by Mimic, as expected. There's the Magnus Global, so that he can prep. There's the Scarlet, although it is now blanked. Okay. Purchase of investigation. And back to Ben. It looks like he missed on the ring for the moment. But there is still the reroll. And missed on it again. So no gold dragon yet. Unless he buys it for full and waits for it to come around. So Ben is just pondering his various different options. Oh, Ben picked up a Madam Web. We have not seen him use that card yet today on this team. It's definitely its backup win con. But at this point, I guess he's just trying for something else. Of course, making a sidekick. And he'll hold on the wild. I expect so that he can make another sidekick on Kevin's turn. So that Mimic named sidekick again, as expected. And Billy Club just got bought. And there's a Cake Global. And bringing it up with Magnus. Doing some prepping. And attack with the two sidekicks to make sure that later on he doesn't have four if that trap comes up. I find it interesting, of course, that Ben is sitting on 2 energy, as he can only use Magnus once per turn. So I'm expecting the other one will either be for cake or will be dropped. Looks like Kevin's got an investigation. He's rerolling 1 die for a super useful fist. I'm being very sarcastic. Let's see what investigation gets him. A couple more sidekicks. Just his energy. Sure. And there's 2 single attunes into Mimic and into Ben. Kevin's getting more of his win con pieces. Kevin's continuing to push into his ramp options since he's managed to control Ben's Mimic ramp for most of this game. There's the food and water trigger. And making a sidekick after. I'm a little surprised he did in that order. I probably would have gone for the sidekick first. Alright, so apparently everything he rolled has fielding costs, and he's a little concerned about it. Rerolling, hoping for some cheaper sides. Looks like he basically missed all the characters on that reroll. Except he does have a Ring of Winter, so he could buy another dragon and put it up. And of course there is a sidekick available for Mimic to copy, unless he decides to copy the dragon after he does all the shenanigans to get that. Looks like he's trying to add up the cost in order to buy that dragon. There's the dragon. There's the ring. Now we get a nice big dragon on the board again. So Mimic is using Sidekick again. So we're going to get much more prepping happening. And there's another attack from Ben. Again, mostly to maintain his board at below 4 so that he can avoid the Green Devil Mask. At least when it comes out. Kevin's chosen not to block. And in response, Ben is spinning 1 down back to an energy. So Kevin only takes 1 damage. And Ben has energy available later. Alright, so Kevin missed the trap. We'll see if on reroll if he can get it or not. So he's buying a trap. Popping out the Mimic again with a tune. Now has 2 traps available. Hopefully they'll remember to update the blue die, because it should actually read 15 at this point. So again, why I mentioned the blue die, I believe, should be at 15, not 16, seeing as Ben has his life counter below at 15. Well, Mimic re-rolled, and he's got a second Shriek. Noting, of course, Shriek is still on Scarlet Witch. Ben right now is trying to figure out if there's a way that he can win. I'm assuming he means in this specific turn. So Ben's waving was just him saying none of what he's about to do counts. He just wants to run through the math of what he's doing to see if he can win at this point. All right, so I think Ben's worked out he can't quite get there, at least not this turn. So he may just field everything and wait for next turn. Now they're discussing what's in Kevin's bag. Yeah, so guys, when you end up in the top table, sometimes it takes a little while per turn, as each player has to think out all their possible results. And that random poker chip that Kevin is flipping is actually a bonus participation prize that Carta Magica Ottawa gave out at one of the previous year's nationals. All right, Ben is currently planning not to field Madam Web, but then he's second guessing. Ben is still doing more math options. Closest he seems to be able to get is 17 of the 18 damage. I think we're getting close to a decision. Mimic copied Shriek, so he could field the other Shriek and get a prep. It's creative. Ben is questioning if that was worth it or not. He doesn't know, but he's committed now. And he's attacking with his entire board. Now saying wait. He's not going to attack at all. Ben's getting a little indecisive. Okay. Wow, okay, so Ben just went way back, undoing several things. Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, Mimic is on sidekick, I got it. They're trying to make sure that I know because of the rollback. So, and also Shriek is targeting Yuan-Ti now instead of Scarlet. That was a little bit confusing for you guys and myself, I'm sure. Ben, so Kevin at this point is assuming he can't kill both Shrieks. So his Yuan-Ti's going to stay blanked for a little while. All right, we're just having a little bit of discussion about what's in bags. Kevin's finally buying a Shriek and rezzing. And of course, Ben makes a sidekick before starting up. Ooh, Ben's got a lot of nice shiny dice there. He's got Mimic and I assume Billy Club. Just a minor correction because Scarlet was back and active. She hadn't been for a while. Okay, Ben again is now testing to see if he can get full game or not. He thinks he has it, by the sounds of it, because he counted up to 19. There's a side kick up. Mimics copying Gold Dragon. So there's Breath Weapon clearing everything out and 15 damage. Zendal, of course, survives. The one dragon gets blocked. Kevin's now counting the rest. And that is game. All right, guys. So Ben is now your official Canadian Nationals champion for 2018. Kevin, I think for the 3rd year in a row, is the runner-up, which I'm going to likely make fun of him for a while, because I did last time. All right, guys, so I'm going to cut the stream here. I will see if I can get those guys to come over, and we'll have a quick little chat in case you guys hang around for that. Otherwise, you can always come back and watch it later, because we'll keep these up on the channel for a while, at least for the 2 weeks. I'm going to likely try and tag them to be more permanent. I just have to figure out how to do that. So, thank you so much, guys. Talk to you in a bit.